Welcome and thank you for watching the video. Before we get into it, please make sure you take a second to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and if you have something nice to say, please leave a comment. Now let's get into it. And we're live. Sam, thank you for taking the time today to come on my show. It's truly a pleasure and an honor.
Thank you so much, Felix. Thanks for having me.
So I told you a few seconds ago, is there a little tidbit, a little something that the world doesn't already know about you? You've done a bunch of podcasts. You have your own podcast. People get to know you. But is there a little tidbit, a little something that perhaps people don't know?
No, I thought about it long and hard. I'm pretty transparent. Everybody was like, man, you're going to put everything out there. And I'm pretty much, everybody knows everything about me except one thing that I really don't talk about. And that's me for years bumping heads with my mother.
Huh.
I mean, because, she's an old school Middle Eastern woman, and she's so set in her ways. She's the one that says, be a doctor, lawyer, or engineer, or nothing else. So for years, she wanted to instill her old mentality and old Middle Eastern mentality into me. And I'm kind of person that I want to kind of do my own thing.
Right.
And, just because I'm from a certain country, that doesn't mean I have to do everything they do. And I'll kind of put the best practices of every culture, and I create my own culture. So for years, we bump heads. And to this day, sometimes we still bump heads. But now we kind of understand that, hey, she knows how I am. I know how she is. We respect each other's thing, and we don't cross the line.
And how do you, I guess on a daily basis or whenever you're with her, what are those conversations now like? And how have you, what kind of things have you said to, improve your relationship from your end? Has she kind of compromised and met you somewhat halfway as well?
Yeah, I just told her that let me live my life. You know what I mean? I've done pretty well for myself.
Yeah.
And I don't, and I think I know what I'm doing. I'm 47 now, but even, she's always been trying to, how to raise my kids, how to discipline my children, who to marry, who to not marry, what a profession I should do, how I should dress. I remember one time, she had an accident, and I went to go see her in the hospital. She had a car accident. I went to the hospital right after the gym, and she looked at me and she yelled at me. She was in the hospital and injured, but she was yelling at me because I was in shorts and tank tops in the hospital. She goes, "That's not proper attire for hospital." I go, "Mom, I don't know how it is in the old country, but I just came from a gym. I'm not the doctor that's operating on you. I'm here as your son right after the gym. I'm good." So those are some of the things. I love my mom, and I cherish her and love her for everything that she's done for me. She raised me, as a single mother, did the best that she could. She built an empire for herself from literally nothing, but sometimes she can be overwhelming, and just wants to do what she wants to do in your life. Where I'm like, look, it's my life, my rules. And if you want to be in my life, you got to go by my kind of rules. So
and
I think we have a pretty good understanding right now.
How has that influenced the way that you've parented your children?
You know what? Very good. That's such a good question, because you started off by something I've never talked about. You know what I mean? And that's been the best question yet, because I'm like, we always talk about the same thing when somebody interviews me. But great start with that, Felix.
Thank you.
I don't ever want to influence my children for what to do. All I'm going to do is give them the tools, give them the foundation, and as a coach, as a trusted advisor, let them know what my opinion of everything is, what the consequence of each decision will be, and let them make their own decision. That's all I want to do.
Right.
At the end of the day, I don't want to hold them back. I don't want to, influence them in any way. I want to just give them foundation, and advice, and let them make their own decisions.
Do you think that mentality comes from learning about the relationship that you had with your mother, or bumping heads with your mother when you were younger?
Yes, 100%. I don't want to be a dictator.
Right.
And in the old school, most Middle Easterns are dictators. You have to do this. And even back in the day, they used to have prearranged marriages.
Right.
Where, you're going to marry her When you guys are 18 or 20
Mm.
years old or whatnot, I'm like, that's what they used to do. They want to control everything.
Right.
I don't want to control. I don't want to be a dictator. I do want them to be a functioning member of society and a contributing member of society. And I'm going to give them all the tools. I'm going to put them in the right places. I'm going to put them in the right field. But at the end of the day, they got to make their own decisions for themselves.
Now, I'm also curious because, when I talk to highly successful individuals, I mean, their kids, they grow up in a very nice, comfortable manner. How do you also, teach them all those great morals? They've grown up, they in a nice setting, but also not, let them know that nothing is handed to them. They have to earn it. What you've earned is what you've earned, and they also have to go earn for themselves.
That's a huge question and a huge problem for most successful people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they've created success for themselves, and now they come to the crossroad. How much should I? You want to give to your children, but you don't want to overgive them so much. Overdo it so much so they don't do anything. One of the best quotes I heard about that is, "Give your children enough to do something, but not so much that they don't do anything."
And how have you done that with your children?
Oh, they know. They know that daddy works hard. They see everything.
Yeah.
But they know that daddy works hard.
Right.
They know that daddy goes to work. I'm not here on a Wednesday, Netflixing all day. I'm working. I'm grinding. So they associate everything that I have with what I'm doing. Also, they know that, the other day my daughter was like, "Hey, daddy, can I have this?" I'm like, "How much is it?" She goes, "It's $19.99. I go, "That's a lot of money."
Yeah.
I go, "That's a lot of money." I said, "Can you find something more, something more reasonable?" So she went on there trying to find. I said, "All right, so you want that, right? What are you willing to do for it? What are you willing to do for it? Let me know what you're willing to do for it." I talked to her about starting her own business. I talked to her, about, the other day we were talking about, getting, buying masks and selling masks and start a little business. We talked about lemonade stand, and, so she associates business and work with money, and she knows that. And she knows the difference between wants and needs.
Right.
At a very young age, both my daughters, they were like, when we were 2, 3 years old, they understood what is a want and what does it need. So when they ask me, "Dad, I want that," I go, "That's a want. It's not a need." And then they understand that the savings, they understand education, so I talk to my daughters like adults.
Right.
I talk to them like adults.
And I think that's beautiful, and I think it's refreshing to hear especially from highly successful people. It's public. People can look you up and find out everything about your life, but at the same time, you instill those morals on them. So I think that's it's a lesson for a lot of parents, not just highly successful people, but parents in general. And I'm also curious, for you, I mean, you're a hard worker. You're level-headed. I mean, have you always been that way? Were you like this as a child? I know that, you're described as a scrawny, awkward child, and that's why you went into bodybuilding. We can go into that after. But from a mentality standpoint, have you always had this, hard work mentality since a young age?
Great question. But before I answer that question, I'm going to tell you this. My daughter asked me the other day, she's 11, "Daddy, when I'm 16, are you going to buy me a car?" And here's what I told her. I said, "Okay." I said, "If you get an A, you can choose the car that you want, an A average. Whatever car you want, you can choose. You can have it. If you get a B, I choose your car. If you get anything less than a B, you're not getting a car." And it's not like I feel like grade matters. It's about whatever you do in life, you do your best.
Right.
Achieve something. We know, that, getting good grades not necessarily mean you're going to be successful, but it tells you something about your work ethic.
Right.
You know what I mean? So as far as my work ethic is concerned, no, I didn't have it. I was just lazy. It's just like anybody else. We're born lazy.
You think so?
Of course. Think about it. If you had to go run right now 10 miles or stay on the couch and watch a good movie, which one would you rather have or eat chips? To this day, I would rather be on the couch and eat some chips than going on a 10-mile run right now.
Right.
I take it every single day. But what I've learned is that the thing that I was born with, though, we're all born lazy, all of us. Okay, but what I've learned over time is this: what I was born with is that I want better for myself. I don't want to be average. I don't want to go through life and just be average and all that. So I told myself, if I don't want to be average, then I gotta be willing to do the work.
Right.
Do I like to do the work all the time? No, I don't like to do the work. Do I like to get up at 4 o'clock every single morning and go lift some heavy ass weights in the gym every single day for the past 35 years? No, no. There's days that I'm like, man, why am I doing this to me? But you know what? I get up because I know success compounds over time. Okay. I didn't get in shape overnight. I'm not going to get rich overnight. I just got to put in the work, just like I put in the gym. It's going to compound over time. And as long as everybody understands that, success compounds. It's the little things that you do right every single day that compounds to big results.
When was the first time you understood that idea that success compounds and, accumulates over time?
It's a very, very good question. Gosh, man, you're pretty good, Felix.
Thank you.
You're pretty good. The first time I did a bodybuilding show. I started, Felix, I was fat as F.
Yeah. How much did you weigh?
I think I weighed 185 and I was like 20% body fat.
Wow. Okay.
20% body fat, 185, right?
And you're how tall?
5'5",
wow.
On a good day.
Yeah, on a good day.
You know what I mean? With the right shoes.
Right.
And so my coach wrote down a 16-week cut program for me.
Okay.
So for 16 weeks, I had to do a certain amount of weight, certain amount of cardio, eat a certain amount of, meals,
right.
And, measure them. After a week, I'm like, man, this shit is not working. 2 weeks, this shit is not working. 3 weeks, oh, man, I don't really see anything. But over the course of 16 weeks, I became shredded. I saw my abs for the first time. Wow. I see cuts in my legs that I never had, cuts in my shoulders I never had. I'm like, wow, I was able to transform over the 16 weeks. I wasn't able to transform overnight. See, in life, Felix, everybody wants everything overnight. Right. We live in a microwave society, where everybody wants everything microwave, everything fast.
Yep.
But that's not how success works. That's not how it works. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the grind. And every once in a while, you might, get a little spike here and there. But over time, you gotta stay on it.
Now, how do you continuously, on a daily basis, we've talked about those big successes. How do you continue to push yourself, continue to push that standard? And, are there other people around you that motivate you? Are there things that motivate you? I mean, what talk about your mentality and how that's kind of progressed over the years.
Things don't motivate me anymore. Things used to motivate me when I was broke, when I was just up and coming. When I was poor, I'm like, oh man, the mansion will be cool, or the Lamborghini will be cool. When I got all that, I'm like, that don't mean shit to me. Huh. What really means a lot to me right now, first and foremost, is my children.
Right.
I got to set the example for them. I got to set an example of work ethic, what a man is all about, what the man does. And the second thing that really motivates me is I just don't want to be the same as I was yesterday. Now, for me, that's death. Death to me is staying stagnant, staying the same, not growing. And I can't imagine myself being the same year after year. See, we as humans, we're at the top of the food chain.
Right.
We're at the top of the food chain. Which means that we beat dinosaurs and tigers and lions and everything like that. We definitely can't beat them in physical strength. Right? The reason we're able to beat them because we evolved. We put a man on the moon, not tigers. We invented a plane. We invented a car. No other species have invented that. That means because we have the ability to assess and get better, right? And be able to improve. Guess what? If you're not using your God-given ability and your God-given gift every single day, and you're just sitting on the couch, watching Netflix and just throwing your life day in, day out, then guess what? You're disrespecting God. As far as I'm concerned. You're disrespecting your gift.
Now, how do you, I guess on a daily basis, as you just kind of mentioned, assess yourself and assess where you're at? I mean, you're a busy guy. You've got a lot to do. Do you ever have, moments where you're able to sit down, relax, think about things through? I mean, just kind of gauge where you're at so that then you can, recalibrate for the next day?
Absolutely. You need downtime to be able to look at things from a 30,000 foot view. Right. When you're in what I call, the weeds, the fight or flight response, you're in what's called a sympathetic nervous mode. Sympathetic nervous mode is fight or flight hormone, epinephrine, norepinephrine, cortisol. and you're kind of stressed, but you're in the weeds, right? And critical thinking doesn't come when you're in the weeds. Critical thinking comes when you're relaxed, you're open, and you can look at everything from a 30,000-foot view and be able to strategize how your thing going. So just like when somebody wants to build their arms, say they go, Sam, I want to build my arms. I want to get my arms bigger. I don't tell them to, okay, work out, do 10 sets of 10 of curls every single day, every day for the rest of the year. No, the way you grow a muscle is by hitting it hard and letting it rest. Proper nutrition.
Right.
The way you grow your mind is the same. Hit it hard, take a break, reassess, re-examine, and move forward.
Now, there's one quote that I really love that you say is, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Now, how do you, what does fulfillment look like for you?
Fulfillment to me right now is spending time with my children and developing them. Right. So making sure that, I'm developing the next generation to the best of my ability. Fulfillment to me is making a difference in this world. Fulfillment to me is helping others succeed. That to me is fulfillment. That's why, they say success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Well, what would I be if I had all the stuff, I had all the material things, but I haven't helped anybody along the way. Right. I made myself successful, but I've never helped anyone else. That would suck. That would absolutely suck. That's a lonely place to be.
And what's that feeling like when you are able to bring those people who maybe didn't believe in themselves or had a goal, and you kind of, help them achieve their goal? What's that feeling like for you over the years, and seeing people around you and helping others and seeing them develop?
The feeling of helping people develop is probably the most awesome feeling that I could ever have. It takes me back to that's when I got into personal training. Because when somebody would come in, they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. They're overweight, they're out of shape. They don't feel good. They lost self-confidence, and now they come up to me and they want to change. And I put a program together and they change, and I change their life and their outlook. The same thing goes with business and everything else. When you truly make a difference in somebody's life, gosh, man, that's like a shot of antioxidants, vitamins, and energy, and your heart feels happy.
Right. Now for you, there are people out there that don't know where to start, right? They're that overweight kid that has no self-confidence, that has no idea where to begin, where to look, how to motivate themselves. They're the ones that you're talking about. They're on the couch watching Netflix and eating chips, but they want to somehow break out of that mold. Is there a single best piece of advice that you could tell them that to at least, guide them into the right direction of where to begin?
Absolutely. The best single advice I will give anybody is to change your proximity and change your life. You want to change your surroundings. They say you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with, and your income is the average of 5 people you hang around with. Well, guess what? Take a look at, do an inventory of who you hang around with. Take an inventory of who, what's going inside of your head. What is the output? What is the input?
Right.
Change that.
Now, is there something that you would have told maybe a young 8 or 12-year-old Sam that you now know that you wish, you could have known back when you were a young boy getting started in this big world?
Yes. I would let him, I would give him Jim Rohn's quote. I would give him this Jim Rohn: self-education will make you a living.
How have you self-educated?
I'm sorry. Formal education will make you a living.
Okay.
Self-education will make you a fortune.
Huh.
I was brought up that, okay, you're going to go to college, you're going to go to school, you're going to go to college, and you're done. You're done learning. Just go work on your craft.
Right.
That's what I was brought up with. Then when I learned about personal development, I started investing in myself. I started getting coaches and mentors and reading books and hanging around the right people. That's where I really started growing. That's when I started making my money. You know what I mean? So if anybody's watching this and, the young kids watching this, oh yeah, I'm just going to go to school, I'm going to learn this, I'm done. No. Learning is constant. Learning is every day. Reading is every day. Getting mentors is every day. It's very important for young kids to understand that, man. You don't have to just go to school. That doesn't stop. Your work doesn't stop there. It just begins.
Right. Now, do you set goals for yourself on a daily basis, or perhaps 5 or 10 year goals? I mean, is there you're involved in so many different things. You have a high work ethic. I think we can all tell that. But I mean, do you look at different industries you want to get into? I mean, you're a businessman. There's so many different things that you're doing. How do you assess that? And do you? I think it's interesting for me whenever I talk to these highly successful people to know how they look at the future, if they look at the short-term future, the long-term future, how you assess that.
Well, first of all, that's a great question. Felix, what would life be without goals?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like I don't understand. I don't understand when somebody is living and don't have goals. Like, are you alive? I mean, I got to check your blood pressure on your pulse because I think you're dead. If you're a living human being and you don't have goals, then I don't know what you're not living. You have no aspirations, and you have no goals, and you have no drive. Of course, I have short-term goals, I have long-term goals, I have weekly goals, I have daily goals. I mean, I really do. And the way I assess things, it just depends on what season of my life I am in, and what's important for me at that moment, at that time. For many years, for the most important thing to me was making money.
Right.
You know what I mean? Making money. Today, that's not the most important thing to me. So to me, the most important thing to me today is time. Right? And so if the investment opportunity comes and I can make some money from it and requires a lot of my time, it just depends of what is the return, not on return on investment,
right,
return on time now. So I call it ROT.
ROT.
I mean, not ROI. Before, when I was younger, when I first started my business, I didn't mind, working 60, 70, 80 hours a week to make a good living. Now you couldn't pay me enough to work that much. Because I'm not going to miss out on my family's life and my children's life for any of that. Any of that. I'm not going to miss soccer practice or swim practice or picking up from school. I'm not going to do that for nothing, for no amount of money.
Do you find it harder to have that mentality now, where you know that you can make X amount of dollars working this amount of time, and maybe when you were 20 or 25 you would have done that. Now you don't. I mean, is it something that you're at peace with? Is it something that you still are tempted to sometimes when you see a big opportunity? Or
I'm totally in peace with it. You have to understand that life has its seasons.
Right.
And just like in the weight room, I can't do what I used to do when I was in my 20s. Right. Today I was lifting with a couple of my workout partners. One of them in his mid-20s, one of them was early 30s, like 31. And we're doing squats. And at squats right now, man, I stay at 225. I'm good with 225, repping it out, and all that kind of stuff. And they wanted to go to 315 and 365. They're like, you want to do that? Like, no, I'm in peace with it. I'm in peace that I'm not going to lift that anymore. Right. And I'm in peace when I'm not going to, get in every business opportunity, and you have to understand there is time and place for everything. And I'm very in peace with that.
Now, to wrap things up, do you ever think about legacy? I mean, do you ever think? Every day. And what do you hope the Sam Bakhtiar's legacy is?
I mean, I just want my legacy to be my children, and to touch as many people's lives, through physical exercise and through mindset. Right. That if an immigrant that came in here with $500 in luggage and a single mom was able to do it, then you can too, especially people who are here in America. With all the crap that's going on today, it really pisses me off. It really pisses me off because people are just like shaming America. And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people don't know. I'm still not a U.S. citizen.
Wow.
I'm still not. I've been here for so many years. I got in trouble when I was younger, and nothing crazy. I'm applying for my citizenship now, But people shame America. I'm not officially an American, but I'm so patriotic.
Right.
I'm so patriotic, bro. You know, this is the greatest country in the world by far. Nobody's moving anywhere else. Everybody wants to come to America. And there's a reason for that. And we're out there shaming, people and shaming America and just saying everything is bad and lying, rioting and looting and make, look, are we perfect? No, we're not. We're not perfect. We're by far wrong, but nobody is.
Right.
Are we the best solution in the world? I would say most people around the world agree.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Iranians are not going anywhere else. Iranians are coming here. Chinese are coming here. Most people are moving to be here. There's a reason for that. And I think that if you are living in here, in this great country, and you can't make something out of yourself, good luck. Go to Iran, go to Iraq, go to Bangladesh, and see what happens.
Beautiful. People can follow you on Instagram at Sam Bakhtiar and your website, sambakhtiar.com. You have the One Percenter podcast, a phenomenal podcast for people to listen to. Sam, truly an honor. I hope that one day if you're ever in New York City, I'll bring you into the studio. And I wish you nothing but the best. You're a big inspiration to me, and I'm sure all the people listening. So thank you for the time today. It was truly a pleasure.
Thank you, Felix. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you like this video and hit that subscribe button, and also follow me on Instagram at felix.levine to stay updated on all new content as it comes out.